ways of practicing. Two methods, two basic strategies, basically. And if you use the wrong one at the wrong time, you'll get, really poor results and you'll be wasting your time. On the other hand, if you use the right strategy at the right time, then you'll get just a ton of results very quickly. So what are those two strategies? Well, I've been talking about both in my other videos, but there seems to be some confusion out there as to what to do when. And the first strategy is when you want to learn, let's say, fretboard shapes, for instance. Let's say you want to learn the 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale, right? I got a lot of delay going for me here. But let's say you want to learn them. The second you can remember them, because that's what it is. You refresh them in your memory, so you basically play the first shape, right? Oh, I can remember that. And there's no uncertainties because you've been playing around with it for 2 minutes or 1 minute or 30 seconds, whatever, how long it takes you in the beginning when you've never seen it before. It might take you 10 minutes to get to that point where you know where all the notes are. At that minute or that second, then you need to move on to something else because now you have refreshed the whole thing into your short-term memory and you can play it all day. You won't get any better at remembering it. You won't. Because what you need is to forget it as fast as possible. So you move on to a different shape, right? And you play through that, and once that is totally comfortable, you can play up and down and improvise within it. You can totally remember it. You bring it up to your short-term memory again. Then you move on. You don't play around with that for an hour or half an hour. That's not practicing. That's just having fun, right? Because there's no effort involved. There's no practicing involved. All you're really doing is just playing up and down using something that you have in your short-term memory. You need to get it out of there. So you forget it, and then you can relearn it, because every time you forget and relearn, you drive it even deeper into your memory. The same thing goes for chords. If you're practicing chords, most people they practice chords like, so we learn to do a C major down here, and we learn to do a G, and so in the beginning we kind of, like this, let me see, like that, oh, we got it. And then we strum away for 3-4 seconds. You can save those 3 or 4 seconds by just cutting out the strumming and just going directly to the next chord, because what is it that you're practicing here? You're practicing putting your fingers in the right place. So all you have to do is go, oh, we got it. Oh, we didn't get it. Then we got it. And then so go back and forth. In that way, you get 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times more instances of actually learning, of actually doing the actual thing you want to become good at, instead of wasting your time doing other things. And so by playing 2 chords after each other, you actually forget the first one, right? You leave it and you come back to it. Leave it, come back to it all the time. Bam, 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 bam. That's what you want to do. And the same thing with scales. As soon as, when you put your fingers on it, like a chord, right? You have your fingers there. There's no reason to strum all the time. The same thing goes for a scale shape. The second you have it and it's comfortable again, right? Then you move on, you move on, you move on. You scramble the memory of it, and then you return back to it 5 minutes later when you've been playing other scale shapes, right? Or you take a break, and then you practice for 2 minutes at a time throughout the day. 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. Refresh the memory of it. Then go out, take a break, forget about it, then refresh the memory. So it's better when you're practicing stuff like this to practice 10 or 20 times a day with breaks in between than it is to just hammer away at the same freaking scale shape or the same freaking chord all the time, right? So, what is it? When is it a good idea to just, play the same pattern over and over again for hours and hours and hours? Well, when you're building muscular motor memory, the skills that you want to achieve, you want to make your body do the most amazing things, then you need to repeat that little thing. The second you know what you're doing, and you can play the thing at this tempo, then you just increase the tempo a little bit, right? And that happens automatically. You basically play at the tempo where it's comfortable and you just keep at it over and over again. The same thing goes for strumming, right? If you want to become very good at, let's say, you just want to keep on doing that over and over and over again, right? Until it's... And just and increase the speed of it so you get comfortable at lower levels of speed. So when you have to remember stuff like fretboard shapes, or you have to finger chords, and you have to remember, your body has to remember where to put its fingers, then the second you have the fingers on, there's no more practicing. You need to shift to another pattern. The second you can remember the scale shape and it's comfortable, you can see the dots on the fretboard, you refresh that memory from last day or from yesterday, then you need to move on to something else. But you can find all those insights in other videos on my channel here. But just be very aware of what you are practicing and don't spend hours playing back and forth in the same freaking scale shape. It's a waste of your time. And that's another thing about focus. What are you really practicing? What do you want to become good at, right? And then you focus on that and make sure that you use the right kind of strategy. I hope this was clarity enough for you. If not, please comment and tell me if you haven't quite gotten it, or ask specific questions about your situation. What are you practicing right now and what strategy you need to use if you're in doubt about that. The last thing I want to say to you is go download my free course on alternate picking. It's 5 essential exercises that you really need to focus on in order to master alternate picking. They are super effective because they focus on the challenges of alternate picking. It's free and it's a really cool program, so just go download it right now.